There are mornings when the light feels too tired to fall. It lands on the floor like a fading breath, and you wake up already feeling smaller than your own life. There's a particular quietness inside you. It appears every time someone praises what you've done. A soft retreat. A slow shrinking, as if your achievements always belong to someone slightly stronger than you. As if the life you live on the outside does not quite match the way it feels on the inside. Some people look like they're simply calm. You know it's not that simple. There are days when you accomplish a lot. Work that other people would call impressive. Work that, from the outside, looks like something worth celebrating. You return home, open the familiar door, feel the slow air drift into the room. Nothing rises inside you. Just a long, thin breath slipping out of your chest. You sit at your desk after finishing a difficult project. Your hands rest lightly on the surface, as if any heavier movement might disturb the fragile quiet you're holding together. You catch your reflection in the dark monitor, a face softened by fatigue. Eyes a little distant, framed by muted light that feels like another grey morning, looking back at you as if it just walked through fog. Sometimes someone mentions you in a conversation. They say your name with admiration. The room brightens for a moment. You lower your eyes. You offer a modest smile. You whisper, "It's nothing. I just got lucky." Even you can hear how flat your own voice sounds. Some people never show their joy because someone once broke it. There are nights when you lie on your bed, staring at the same unmoving ceiling. The room carries the scent of long days and quiet evenings. You think about everything you've done, everything you've worked for, yet none of it settles into you as pride. It just passes through like distant weather. You're not failing. You're not ungrateful. You're simply tired in ways no one sees. What you're living with has a shape, even if it rarely feels like something you're allowed to name. It's the psychology of people who downplay their achievements. A quiet, automatic habit of shrinking your own worth so the world feels safer, calmer, less demanding. But here's the quiet truth. None of this is your fault. It isn't a lack of confidence. It isn't weakness. It isn't humility gone wrong. It's a pattern formed by years of small, subtle moments. Moments when praise came with pressure. When success turned into expectation. When something you did well became the new minimum you were meant to maintain. You learned to dim your light, not because you had nothing to show, but because being seen too clearly once came with a cost. Being unnoticed hurts less than being noticed and misunderstood. So you soften your accomplishments, you redirect compliments. You talk about your effort as if it barely mattered, not because it's true, but because somewhere deep inside, safety has been tied to staying small. You're not broken, you're conditioned. And conditioning can feel like identity when it has been with you long enough. These patterns often begin quietly, long before you had words for them. In childhood, your achievements may have been met with silence, or with a quick nod before the focus shifted back to what you hadn't done yet. Not harsh criticism exactly, just never quite enough recognition to let the accomplishment sink into your bones. Some children grow up in homes where praise is scarce, offered only when absolutely necessary, as if too much warmth might ruin them. So the child learns to temper their joy, to hide their pride, to never ask to be seen, to feel safer in the shadows than in the light. Others grow up being compared. A good grade isn't good for you, it's good until someone else does better. Even the smallest win carries the weight of competition. Over time, the nervous system learns a quiet message. Don't shine too much, it's not worth the fallout. And some children are simply too capable, too early. Their successes are treated as proof that they can handle more. No celebration, just extra responsibility. Achievement becomes a doorway to pressure, not to emotional support. Some of us learn to apologize for existing before we learn to speak clearly. These early echoes stay in the body, not as clear memories but as reflexes. Your adult self may not remember every moment, yet your nervous system still responds as if any praise might lead to more work, more stress, more eyes watching you. The irony is, you became competent, impressive, deeply reliable. Instead of feeling lifted by your strengths, you learned to keep them quiet, to protect the younger part of you that once felt overwhelmed by being seen. As you grow older, the mind builds its defenses, so naturally you almost forget they are there. You withdraw a little when someone praises you. You offer explanations to soften your wins. You speak about your success as though it barely counts. These behaviors are not random. They are protective. Shrinking keeps expectations low. Numbing blocks the discomfort of attention. Overthinking helps you stay one step ahead, always monitoring how others might react. Even self-deprecating humor becomes a shield, turning vulnerability into something easier to manage. Silence becomes a shelter when the world feels too sharp. There's a familiar loop that many people like you fall into. You protect yourself by minimizing what you've done. That leads to fewer moments of recognition, which deepens the sense of invisibility, which makes the world feel colder, which makes you shrink even more. Protection, then isolation. Isolation, then pain. Pain, then even stronger protection. What makes this more complicated is that the system works just well enough that you rarely question it. Downplaying keeps you safe from pressure. It keeps the spotlight soft. It keeps interactions predictable. Yet it also keeps you at a distance from your own life, from your own growth, from the emotional nourishment that recognition is meant to bring. You become someone who succeeds quietly, suffers quietly, and fades quietly into the background of your own story. Not because you want to disappear, but because disappearing feels familiar. Inside, there is a whole world that rarely reaches the surface, a place filled with rehearsed responses, careful tones, practiced modesty. You know the exact phrases that keep you small without drawing attention to the shrinking. Your mind loops through thoughts in soft circles. You replay moments where you think you said too much. You re-edit conversations long after they're over. You silence your inner pride before it ever has a chance to speak. Emotionally, life feels muted. Wins feel flat. Time feels slow. Even joyful moments pass with only a thin ripple. Sometimes joy feels dangerous when you've learned it never stays for long. You live in a strange tension, wanting to feel more, yet fearing what might come with being seen too clearly. Sometimes your home feels like a refuge, the one place where no one expects anything from you. Other days, it feels like a prison. The quiet only amplifies everything you avoid. Refuge or prison. Safety or isolation. Sanctuary or cage. You move between them without fully choosing either, and in that in-between space, a quiet suffering lingers. Not dramatic, not overwhelming, just a steady ache that comes from living half visible. Yet, within all this shrinking lies a strange form of strength, a depth many people never touch. You notice things others overlook. You understand effort in ways loud people rarely do. You carry a grounded sense of responsibility that makes the world quietly lean on you. The irony is, your sensitivity, your humility, your hesitation to take credit, these are the very qualities that make you deeply capable. You're not loud, but you're thorough. You're not boastful, but you're consistent. You don't chase attention, but you carry weight in every room you enter. You are the kind of person who keeps everything functioning while others take the spotlight. The one who supports, who stabilizes, who anticipates problems before they grow. Yet, because you rarely acknowledge your own strengths, you rarely feel them. Your gifts stay unclaimed. Your depth becomes both a burden and a quiet brilliance. Shrinking yourself is a habit, not your personality. The modern world is not built for people like you. It rewards volume, visibility, branding. It praises those who speak loudly about their achievements, who turn success into performance. Meanwhile, social media turns every accomplishment into competition. Comparison becomes constant. Attention becomes currency. In a landscape where everyone is shouting, your softness feels out of place. Corporate spaces amplify this. Metrics, targets, self-promotion, they create a pressure cooker atmosphere where invisibility is mistaken for incompetence, where modesty is misread as lack of ambition. What makes this even harder is that you live in a time when talking about yourself is expected, yet doing so feels unnatural, exhausting, even dishonest. And so you withdraw further, not because you lack value, but because the version of confidence the culture demands doesn't match your nervous system. You end up in the background of a world that has very little patience for quiet excellence. Evenings arrive with a particular dullness, a soft hum in the air, the kind of stillness that makes time feel stretched. On weekend mornings, the light enters slowly. It spreads across the floor like a thin, grey blanket. You sit with your thoughts, neither excited nor sad, just suspended in a muted present. Old memories, though, remain vivid. Moments when someone noticed your effort, even briefly, still shine brighter than almost anything happening now. Warm, fragile flashes of childhood approval that feel more real than your current achievements. Your home becomes a dual world. Some days it is sanctuary, a place where expectations loosen, where you can be small without penalty. Other days it is confinement, a room that echoes with unspoken exhaustion. You walk through your space with gentle detachment, noticing details without quite feeling them, the soft hum of appliances, the steady rhythm of your breath, the weight of your body against the couch. Life doesn't hurt, it just feels muted, as if someone turned down the emotional contrast. Loneliness is not always about being alone. Sometimes it's about never being seen where you work the hardest. Time keeps moving, but you stay in place, waiting for something you cannot fully name. And here, in the quiet at the end of all this, something softer begins to appear. You are not failing. You are not weak. You're not simply someone who can't accept compliments or lacks confidence. You are someone who learned to protect yourself in ways others never had to. Someone who grew strength in silence. Someone whose nervous system still remembers the cost of being seen too brightly. There is nothing wrong with you. You do not need to change overnight. You do not need to speak louder. You do not need to prove anything. Let this truth rest in you gently, like morning light settling on the floor. You are overwhelmed, not broken. And even if the world does not always notice what you carry, your effort, your depth, your quiet existence still hold a weight that matters. In a loud world, staying gentle is not a flaw, it's a kind of courage. In your own time, in your own way, you are allowed to take up space again.